Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year. Hello there, Evelyn Chu. Good morning, Sigala. Good morning, Miss Deborah Little.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dina. Good morning, Beverly, admin. Betty Jo, Deborah Myers.
Good morning.
Hey, we're all women on this call so far. We're always first. To give a gift, a prize. Oh, here comes Brian. Hope you guys had a good holiday season. Are you feeling rested or overwhelmed with all the different activities?
Oh.
Good morning, Betty Jo. I see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Made it.
Good morning, Deborah. Hope your husband is better. Hey, do you recognize this music? Just a little better. Do you remember in 2020? Let me share with you a picture. Bring back your memory. See that? We had such high hopes for 2020 back then. Look at you, Deborah. And I remember you did the Charleston for us. There you are, Evelyn. Look
yes, we had a ball.
Betty Jo, look at you with your cute little hat on. Let's see if I see anyone else. Is Tom in there? Tom Huang?
He's next to Miguel.
Where is he?
Next to Miguel. Vivian has her hand up.
Here's Miguel. Okay, I see. Yeah. Well, it was fun. It was fun. But I want to say that, you know, it's still the roaring 20s. And, you know, the 20s were really rolling high until the market crashed in 29 when the stock market crashed. So we still have 6 more years, but let's make the best of it each year as we go forward. Okay. All right. Okay. I think that was it. Okay. Well, welcome everyone. Happy New Year to all of you. It's good to be back. It's hard to get back in the game, right? But it's good that we're here together. Let me share with you our agenda. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it earlier, but let me share it. Okay, a few things on our agenda. I wanted to do some congratulations at the beginning. We have a new year, a new beginning. Oh, hold on, let me let some more people in. Okay. And then we'll be hearing from our movement mortgage lenders, Brian Sanchez. I'm not sure if Maria's on the call, but we do have some housekeeping that I wanted to share good information for all of you. So you see our theme or our quote for the day is 80% of success is just showing up. And I want to congratulate all of you that have been, let me just stop sharing here, have been very faithful about attending our meetings. You know, I really try to prepare them so that we are up to date with what's going on in the market. And hopefully, you know, you get something of value from them. And I know many of you that are here today have shown up very faithfully throughout. So I congratulate you for 80% of success is showing up. And, you know, when you put on your video, that is great because you're showing up even more. And when you participate and say something like, no, don't make me look like a fool when our video was on, but you guys saw a gray screen. I like it when you tell me when I'm doing something wrong, because that's the only way I can improve. And one of the things I got over the New Year's holidays from a friend in Idaho, she sent it to me. She said she loves this text. And it was about making mistakes. She goes, I hope your year is full of making mistakes, because when we make mistakes, that means we're trying something new. And it's okay because we continue to expand ourselves. So, you know, we're here to help you. So go out there, make mistakes. It's okay. It's like jumping into the pool. Once we're in the pool, sometimes we're, you know, flailing, but that's okay because you eventually learn how to swim. And so today I wanted to share with you, look at, I am very proud of our office. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see, does it show up? Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. See, look at this. This is December's production. Altogether, we closed sales volume was 8,178,800.
I don't see
We
it.
don't see the
I don't see it.
document. We just see your,
Thank you for telling me.
well, we saw your little circles and
There
things.
you go. Can you see that now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So look at that. Our agents that closed transactions in December, this is just December numbers, over $8 million, over $179,000 in commissions. Isn't that amazing? So this is a great way to see. I don't know where we rank yet, so I'll find out the numbers, but I'm hoping we ranked up in the top 10. But you know, December is quite a lean month sometimes, but we came out in at the end and we were like Seabiscuit, struggling all the way through. And then at the very end, we pushed it forward. So congratulations to us, to you that did those transactions. I wanted to also congratulate Evelyn Chu. Evelyn, you have a new listing. I'm going to put it up and then maybe you can share a little bit, Evelyn. Are you able to speak?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you loud and clear. Okay.
Okay, this house actually, I have been working with the seller since October. And the house was rented out to a tenant for 17 years. And it was quite a mess. So we spent almost 2 months to get it cleaned out, renovated. So finally, I put it in the MLS yesterday. The only thing we haven't done is the yards. So we try to clean the yards. So you can see because of the rain, so the picture wasn't really show very well, but I will retake the front pictures.
But look at your interior.
Yeah, I had Lorella did my staging. So inside everything done. Okay, so whoever has a buyer can show the house now.
Are you doing an open house? Evelyn?
Yeah, I'm planning not this weekend. I'm planning to next weekend because the weather is not very good.
Oh, okay. But did you know that the very serious fires come out in the rain?
I agree with you, but I'm afraid of cleaning the house after people footsteps.
I understand. Yes. I remember having an open house during heavy rainstorm, but it went well. So Evelyn, are you open to having people do an open house at that house in the future when you're not doing it?
I don't have anybody, but if anybody interested in doing open house, let me know. Just contact me.
Okay. And then just to remind you, you saw the Luna Lista post about Evelyn's listing, correct? If you checked on your text messages or in your email.
Yes.
And I have shown you in the past that you can promote that listing in your social media, or if you want to make a flyer. If you wanted to see how to do that, it's in one of our past meetings, but it's a good way to find a buyer for that listing. You know what? I really want to focus on double ending our listings for this coming year, because it's such a thrill to see our listing agent from our office, but also the buyer's agent. And guess what? You will probably get your offer accepted a little bit more with our listing agent, but you just got to make sure your buyer is qualified and that you're willing to go through hoops to make it happen. But see, that gives you a little bit of an edge. Okay, so, and then I wanted to congratulate Deborah Little because she texted me, gosh, Deborah, was it just right before Christmas?
Yes, it was right before Christmas.
And she says, Leilani, I heard that my license expires on January 3rd, 2023. And I heard that you have 2 years to complete your license renewal. Right, Deborah? And so I told Deborah, well, yes, you do have 2 years, but in that, without a valid license, you cannot practice real estate. So Deborah, she passed her real estate exam or her renewal on December 30th. I was so impressed. I even spoke to our corporate office and they said, oh no, she's not going to be able to get it done by January 3rd because I was telling her on before Christmas. And
Yes.
so I was in shock when I found out Deborah did pass the exam. And I did clarify with Bonnie that you did do that, Deborah. And so I saw that you sent me an email showing me that you were totally, you're legitimate and valid. So I wanted you to tell people, how did you do it? Because
Yes.
with just those few days.
Well, it is a 45-hour course, and you cannot move on until you pass. They give you a timeline. So if I started today, I have to wait 24 or 48 hours so I can actually take the actual exam. And I used First Tuesday. They were very user friendly. They had videos, they had chapters, and on top of that, them being very oriented and making you pass, a lot of our training also helped that we go over. And from our from Leilani and our affiliates, as far as funding and title things, it was just amazing how some of the things I was able to remember from our in-house training. So it was a little scary and stressful. And I did take off December 25th, 26th, and 27th. And that's why I started on the 21st of December and then I finished on the 30th. Because if you don't have your license active, you cannot practice. And what's the sense of being a realtor if you can't do what you need to do? So I had to put my foot down and push myself and make it happen.
You did. You put the pedal to the metal.
Yes.
Deborah.
And guess what? I didn't know. Also, not only can you not practice, it costs you more money once you're late. And hey, we need to hold on to as much money we can. So that I was glad I went on ahead and finished because it cost me $245 where it would have cost me $367.
Wow,
Woo-hoo!
that's over $100 difference.
Yes.
And you know what? I heard too, everyone, this is for you who will be renewing your license in 2023. They are having more requirements. And so I need to find out what they are because I'm renewing my license July 2023 is when mine expires. So I better get on the ball. I don't want to wait till July 4th to start working on it because my license expires, I think, on July 10th. So good job, Deborah. I called Deborah because I was so impressed with how she just did it. And, I think when we're in that frame of mind, when we think we got to do it or else, we find it within ourselves to make it happen. And so I wanted you to share that because I totally thought you weren't going to do it until like the end of January. So.
No, thank you. I have I have a house in escrow right now. So I was like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen to my commission if I don't have a license? I'm going to get this done.
Oh yes, you wouldn't have gotten it.
See?
You would have had to wait. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Isn't that amazing how fear spurs you on?
Yes. Yes.
Hoping that fear isn't what is the only driving force for us. I want us to really be proud of ourselves. And so with that, I wanted to share with you this PowerPoint I put together about the new year and new beginnings. So let me see if I can get this up. Make sure you tell me if you see it. Okay. All righty. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Happy New Year, everyone. 2023. It's amazing. 3 years into the 2020s. So, you know, I am a firm believer that we can still do it. I am like the person who loves to root for the underdog. Even when there's like a Super Bowl game, I don't have a team. I usually see who is the underdog, and then I start rooting for them. And sometimes they win, and that's just makes it more exciting. A new year, a new beginning. Okay. So, you know, speak up if you can. What is the #1 resolution people make in the new year?
Lose weight.
Wait.
Okay, I heard that. Anyone else?
Go to the gym.
Okay, good. Anyone else?
Make
Okay,
more money.
what's that, Brian?
I said make more money.
Oh, that's a good one too. But the #1 resolution people make in the new year is be healthier. Okay, so you people that said it at the beginning, you were correct. It's healthier, but look at the statistics. 52% say they want to exercise more, 50% want to eat healthier, and 40% want to lose weight. So, you know, I think I'm in that percentage as well. I don't know if you know how to raise your hand, but you could share that too if you want. Okay.
There's a reality of this way.
Mute. Okay, all right. I'm trying to get my screen to go to the next one. Just stop share, sorry. Okay, so how many people follow through on their resolution? What do you think?
5%.
Okay, Deborah Myers? Anyone else?
I say like 20%.
Yeah, I was gonna say 25.
25%? Any other guesses? Okay, well, let's look at how many don't follow first, okay? So 43% of all people expect to fail before February, and almost 1 out of 4 quit within the first week of setting their New Year's resolution. And then most people quit before the end of January. That's amazing, huh?
Yeah.
So Deborah Myers, you were the closest. 9% successfully keep their New Year's resolutions. Have you made your resolutions yet? Did you before? So how many of you made goals last year? How many remember what their goals were? So what are some of the obstacles that prevent us from achieving our goals? Anyone?
Support.
Support? Any others?
I was gonna say ourselves.
Any others?
Being lazy.
Self-doubt.
Deborah, what did you say, Deborah Myers?
Self-doubt. When you
Self-doubt?
doubt yourself.
Okay. Any others? You know what? I'm really pleased that you guys were really focusing on the person, ourselves, because the #1 are excuses. We all have excuses. And then I looked up what the excuses was on Google, and this is what I found. A reason or explanation put forward to defend or justify a fault or offense. And then the #2 reason why we don't achieve our goals is we don't keep track of them. I don't know if some of you are friends with me on Facebook, but I just posted that the last 4 months of this year, I walked every day, and I also, if it was raining hard, I did yoga. But I have my calendar on my refrigerator so that I can keep track. So I know when I'm doing something and when I'm not. So what can help us feel proud of ourselves at this time next year? So not a question for you to answer right now, but let me share a video clip with you.
This is profound to me. I mean, it's obvious, but if you don't step back and get away from it and look at it, you just really don't realize.
Turn it up, please.
Yeah,
Before it
turn up
happens,
on your side too.
It has to actually be established. And I think what happens is, you tell me what you think. Beginning of the year, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. I'm going to do this. I'm going to eat 5 minutes. I'm going to starve myself to 500 calories. So it's not a 1% improvement. Or I want to get up earlier. I'm going to get up 2 hours earlier starting tomorrow instead of get up 15 minutes earlier. Right? Get up a minute earlier. So talk about that from just the concept for everyone to just, they can take control of their life right now by just the establishment of a habit. Right or right?
Yeah, definitely right. So one of the concepts I talk about in the book is this, one of the strategies is this idea of what I call the 2-minute rule, where I encourage people to build a habit that takes 2 minutes or less to do. So you take whatever you're trying to do, read 30 books a year, becomes read 1 page, or do yoga 4 days a week, becomes take out my yoga mat. And sometimes when I mention that idea, people resist it a little bit because they're like, okay, buddy, I know the real goal isn't just to take my yoga mat out. I know I'm actually trying to do the workout. So if this is some kind of mental trick, then like, why would I fall for it, basically? Well, I tell the story of this guy, Mitch, that you mentioned, this guy who I talk about him in Atomic Habits. He went to the gym. We've lost over 100 pounds, kept it off for more than a decade. And when he first started going to the gym, he wouldn't stay for longer than 5 minutes. He had this little rule. He had to leave after 5 minutes. So he'd get in the car, drive to the gym, get out, do half an exercise, get back in the car, drive home. And it sounds ridiculous, right? It sounds silly. You're like, obviously, he's not going to get the guy the results that he wants. But if you take a step back, you realize that he was mastering the art of showing up, right? He was becoming the type of person, right? Even if it was only for 5 minutes. And this gets us to that deeper truth about habits that you just mentioned, this idea that a habit must be established before it can be improved. It has to become the standard in your life before you can optimize it and scale it up into something more. And, I don't know why we do this. Like, we get very all or nothing about our habits. We're so focused on finding the perfect business idea or the best workout program or the ideal diet plan that we spend all our time theorizing and researching and looking for a better way. And instead, if we could just master the art of showing up, even if in the beginning it was less than what you had hoped to do, you're establishing a foothold. You're building some small progress that you can advance off of. And it reminds me of Ed Lattimore has that great quote where he says, the heaviest weight at the gym is the front door. And man, there are a lot of things in life that are like that. Like the hardest part is getting started. The hardest part is establishing the routine, even if it's a lower level baseline than what you ultimately hope to achieve. But the reality is, if you can't become the type of person who masters the art of showing up, even if it's just for 5 minutes, then it doesn't matter how good the plan is. It doesn't matter how great your theory is. And so I think the 2-minute rule pushes back on that perfectionist tendency a little bit and just encourages you to master the art of showing up.
So good. I'm right. This is profound.
Let me stop sharing for 1 second here. Any thoughts about what this gentleman said, James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits?
I totally agree. You have to master the habit before you can improve it.
I sent this video out last week. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, but I figured, okay, good for you, Beverly. I figured it's a good way to start off the new year. What did you think about that quote? The heaviest object in the gym is the front door.
I like that.
So what do you think for us? What's the heaviest object in success in real estate?
The phone.
The what?
The phone.
The phone. Well, that's the heaviest object, right? It's actually, maybe, what can we do? Just pick it up? Like the guy just went to the gym for 5 minutes each time, but he was establishing a foothold. So what kind of foothold can we establish for ourselves to make us in our mind say, I am a great realtor who gets leads or who gets the transaction? The phone is a good one, Brian. What else? Anything else? Okay, well, let me just finish with this slideshow and then Brian, you're going to be up next. Let me find it. Just a little bit left. You know what? Let me just put this way. Oops. I hear someone typing. Okay. Oh, I think my thing is stuck. If I can get one more chance here. Can you see this where it says accountability?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why it's not doing. Okay. So accountability is an important part of our success, because we might tell ourselves, but then if we don't do it, we don't hold ourselves accountable. So so it's important to be responsible to someone else. Who is that someone else? Being open to accountability. You know, sometimes we don't want to hold ourselves to accountability, because then we'll feel bad about ourselves for not accomplishing what we said we were going to do. But I would like to encourage all of us, challenge all of us to just be open to that accountability. And then write it down. You know, tomorrow we do have an advanced training with our corporate office, and it's on business planning part 1. So I'm sure they're going to be asking us to write down what our goals are and then come up with a plan. And like the video said, let's just do step 1. Maybe, as Brian said, is just pick up the phone. Pick up the phone every day. And then the next week, pick up the phone and actually dial. And then the next week, pick up the phone, dial, and talk to somebody. So, and then be willing to share it with me or someone else so we can help. I know that Miguel, you have an accountability partner, and that's Wendy, your wife. Some people may not want to have their spouse as their accountability partner. So I'm open to be that for you. You know, just share with me, what is it that you want? You know, yesterday I had a coaching call with my coach, and I wanted so badly to call him or text him on Sunday, because you have a 24-hour notice to cancel, because it's a lot of work just to show up and be accountable. I so wanted to not show up. Actually, it would be Monday that I could call, but I didn't. So I had the coaching call, and then I actually liked it afterwards. It's just getting there is the difficult part. Like just getting to the gym is hard. Or, you know, you feel good about yourself when you don't eat that second piece of brownie, you know. So I am just sharing with you that it is hard for me too, but I'm trying to force myself, and I want to challenge all of us to do the same thing for ourselves, to have success. And, you know, at the end of the year, are you this year ready to throw away excuses in 2023? And let's just get on and really look at how we want to be at the end of the year, 2023. How are we going to look at ourselves? You know, for me, just having my calendar filled up makes me so proud of myself. And because I did something on a personal level, it helps spur me on for the on a business level. You know that we've had 42 business meetings, I checked, out of 52 weeks. 2 of those were because we had business breakfast networking that Mohern put on. And I think one was I was on a funeral. The other one was because George had a stroke on that day. And I forget what the others were, but the other two were because we had the holidays. So because I did those things about showing up by walking every day, or if I couldn't walk, I did my yoga. That laid down the foundation to push me when I really don't want to do it. I do it because that's the mindset I have now in my head is I do what I say I'm going to do, and no excuses are going to get in the way of that. But that means I have to reorganize my life in order to show up. And the theme or our quote is 80% of success is just showing up. That's by Woody Allen. So the fact that you're here, that's important. And I would like to challenge you to show up for other things. And, you know, I said this before, and I know before 2018, I didn't even show up to business meetings. I was with Tarbell in 2003. I left in 2007. I came back in 2010. I told Carol, the manager at that time, I don't want to do anything, because before that I was assistant manager and I did not want to do anything because then I couldn't do my own work. So I didn't even show up to business meetings. And then 2018, I said to myself, I'm going to show up to all the business meetings. So I did. And then I also picked one day out of the week to show up for my floor time. And Evelyn Chu, I believe you were ahead of me. We had 3-hour shifts. I think you had 8 to 11, and I came from 11 to 2 every Tuesday. And from that, I think, Evelyn, you were there when there was a walk-in and I was able to sell their house. So showing up is important. So I share that with you because I was broke way before then. I was so broke, I couldn't even keep my lights on because I went through a divorce, 2006, that my electricity was turned off because I could not pay my bills. You know, so that's why I had to make a mindset change to say, okay, let me just show up. Okay, so I'm getting off my soapbox. I'm going to turn it over to you, Brian.
Thank you, Leilani. You know, I think we all can relate to that. You know, going through a difficult time that motivates you to take your business or your life to another level. And I think, you know, that's really fitting to what, you know, we're talking about today. So, you know, today's the first meeting of the new year. This year is a blank canvas. You know, I know last year there was a lot of ups and downs and uncertainties with, you know, how everything was changing in the market and how fast it was changing. But I feel like this year is like now everyone has a grasp of it. We're past the pandemic. We're into a more stable market, and basically, you know, as a, you know, as metaphorically speaking, you know, as this canvas is blank, you know, we can put what we want on there. So one thing that I wanted to share with you guys is about, you know, setting up yourself for success and your goals for this year is, you know, really don't limit yourself to just, you know, what you think like would barely be enough. You know, really challenge yourself to push yourself to the next level. Not only, you know, in business, but in personal relationships, everything in life. I always feel like it's always good to just try to get better, try to be a better person, try to be a better, you know, overall in your thoughts, in your mind, because that only trickles down into your business. So with that being said, you know, there is a big announcement that we're expecting today from the Federal Reserve. They're going to be releasing their meeting minutes from last month. And a lot of the forecasts and analysts are saying that the minutes are going to basically say that if the Federal Reserve is acknowledging that the rates or that the inflation has slowed down, then that's what they're anticipating they're going to say, and then that's going to help us with getting the rates lower. So this week, you know, rates came up a little bit higher than the end of the year, a little bit higher than they were at towards the end of the year. So today, 30-year conventional is at 6.4%. FHA is at 6.125, and VA is at 6.125. So, you know, rates are somewhat higher than where they were a few months ago, or a week ago, or a few weeks ago. But basically, what this new meeting that they're going to be sharing, like the details of it, they're expecting that the rates are going to come down based off of this meeting. There's a lot of articles and a lot of data from supply chain manufacturers that are saying that the supply chain issues have been resolved. So that's only going to help reduce the inflation. So what to look forward to with that is, when the rates come down, and keep in mind, everything is like, a month behind. So when they fully acknowledge that the inflation has come down, then that's going to signal the Federal Reserve to lower the rates. So what we're anticipating is, I would say by the end of quarter one, start of quarter two, we could see the rates back to 5%, maybe even 4%. Who knows, from there. But what I wanted to share with you guys is that we have a strategic winning formula to get clients that are on the fence right now, that are saying that they want to wait, they want to see what's going to happen with the rates and all that. So start of this year, Movement Mortgage is offering for any client that purchases and closes their loan from now until March, the end of March, and whatever happens with the rate, if the rates come down, then we can do a refinance for them to get into a lower rate, and we're going to waive the fees, the lending fees. So, that's a really great opportunity for someone to not only, kind of remove the fear or the stress of, if they're losing out on if a rate comes down. Also, too, along with that promotion, there's also a strategic formula that we've been telling to all of our clients. And really, we're seeing this really gain a lot of traction. So I know you guys have been hearing us talk about 2-1 buy downs, seller contributions, things like that. So what we really want to explain about these 2-1 buy downs is that because Movement Mortgage also services the loan, what we're able to do is, let's say you have a client who wants to buy a house, but they want to wait because they don't know what's going to happen with the rates. Well, we let them know that if they purchase a home now, they can take advantage of the lower rate, and we'll waive the lending fees, so they can do that. They can do that transaction. But within that transaction, they can also negotiate with their seller to provide seller credit for a 2-1 buy down. Now, this is the part that is really cool. So because Movement Mortgage services the loans, when we have a client who has a 2-1 buy down, and what that means is that there's money in an account in escrow that pays the interest for that first 2 years. So that money that's in that account, what happens is that money then gets unlocked when they do the refinance, and they can use that towards a principal reduction, or they can use it to help offset their closing costs on their new purchase or on their new refinance. So it's a win-win for everyone, because a lot of the times the sellers want to brag and kind of boast that they got full sales price or even over asking for what their house was worth. So you can do that, and then by giving the buyer a credit for the buy down, the buyer can buy the house. They get in the house, the rates come down, we can refinance them. Since they already have that money as a 2-1 buy down in escrow, then they can use that and reduce their principal balance. So it's a really great opportunity for buyers. It's a really win-win situation for everyone. And this kind of just started this week, so we're really excited about it. We really want to spread the word on it. So if you have any clients that are on the fence about moving forward on a purchase because of the rates, let's share this opportunity with them and see, what they can, if they want to move forward with that. And then some other things to look forward to this year that I personally want to, offer services for. So one thing that I think is really important to do in this kind of market is to really just do income producing activities. I know that's something that we talked about with Leilani, and one of the fears or one of the hurdles is excuses, or also fear of picking up your phone and dialing. So one thing some things that I wanted to offer up for you guys, is if you guys are interested in doing income producing activities together as a group, one-on-one, however you guys want to do it, I'm totally down for it. I would love to schedule that with anyone who's interested. But income producing activities can be such as, door knocking, putting signs out, doing open houses, doing buyer seller seminars. So if anyone is interested in doing stuff like that, let me know. I'm on board. I want to help out and do whatever I can to help you guys, take your business to the next level this year, and everyone work together to achieve our goals. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys, some things to look forward to. And then hopefully, when the rates come down, it'll just kind of pick up and everyone can, take advantage of the opportunities with the lower rates. So that's what I want to share with you guys, and I hope you guys had a happy new year.
Thank you, Brian. Are there any questions for Brian? Brian, maybe you can give me a little synopsis of how to do that buy down and put it in the escrow account.
Sure.
Sounds interesting, but I don't fully grasp it.
Yeah. So basically what it is when someone does a 2-1 buy down, they're buying down the interest rate so that they have a lower payment for the first 2 years of the loan. So what happens is, by doing the 2-1 buy down, they have to put in that money for the 2 years that they're going to buying down the rate. So what happens is that money goes into escrow as so when they're making their payment, that money gets applied towards their payment, so that way their rate is able to be where it's at. So they basically have an account, almost like an account for their taxes and insurance, but this account is for the interest. And so what happens is, that account gets set aside, and it's to make sure that there's enough money to pay for the interest, so that way they can keep that rate lower. But what happens is, if they do a refinance, like for example, like if they purchase their home with XYZ lender, and then they do a refinance with ABC lender, well, the company that's servicing the loan is the one that has that escrow account for that money. So if that were to happen, then the borrower would just get a refund of that money, whenever their loan gets closed. But for our company, because we service the loan, they're able to use that money towards a principal reduction, or if they want to apply it towards closing costs, or if they just want their money as a refund, they can do that as well. But it just gives them another option, and it helps them to get off the fence and kind of overcome an objection that they want to wait and see what's going to happen with the rate. So it's just just a little trick or technique that we're offering, so that way we can help get these clients to the finish line.
Thank you, Brian. Is there a flyer that you
Yes.
can send me?
Yes, I'll send you a flyer, kind of
I'll
breaking
send
it down.
to everyone. Okay, thank you.
But how is that reducing their payment if they still gotta take some money to put in that extra account?
Okay, so what happens, let's just say, round numbers here, their interest rate is 6%, and they get a contribution from the seller for a 2-1 buy down. So the seller's going to give them the money that's going to cost to buy that rate down 2%. So their rate for the first year is 4%. So that's how the rate gets lowered, based on the cost to get the rate from 6% to 4% on the interest for the first 2 years. So then what happens is, that money that's set aside for that interest payment, when they do a refinance, then that loan gets paid off. So then that money doesn't really need to be there. So they typically get that as a refund from their loan servicer. But for us, because we service the loan, we're offering that to lower the principal balance, or we're offering it to pay their closing costs, or we're offering it, if they want it as a refund. So there's really, I haven't seen anyone kind of offering this. So it's just kind of like something that we're thinking that, it's going to help people, get off the fence and, move forward with getting the loan closed, because there's really no kind of like, I don't know, it's like a win-win. There's really no bad way to look at it, because, everything is going to work out, if the rate goes down or if not, they still got the lower rate no matter what.
So the seller is putting the money in that account.
Right. So
Okay.
so the seller can contribute a contribution for the 2-1 buy down. And what we're seeing is, a lot of sellers are willing to pay for buyer's closing costs, or give credit to the buyer to get the transaction, get it locked in. So what we're suggesting is, instead of having the seller give the credit towards closing costs, have the seller give that credit towards the buyer's 2-1 buy down. And that's what we're using that money to set aside for when they do the refinance. If the rates come down, then they can use it to reduce the principal balance, or get a refund or apply it towards their closing costs.
Okay,
Okay, thanks.
Of course.
then send me the flyer, Brian.
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
I can forward it to everyone as well.
Ryan, but excuse me, you also have, you're saying that you have a loan or where that, if they do take the current rates, that if those, you have a time period for that, that they can take the lower rate without refi costs, right? If they
Yes,
take
yes.
the current rate, and then in March or April, whatever you're saying, that the rates go down, they can refi free. Right?
Yes. So, for example, if someone does a purchase transaction from now until the end of March, and the rates come down when that time frame is over, then we'll honor their refinance and waive their lending fees. So typically, when someone does a purchase or refi, whatever, they can't do another loan until 6 months after, or 6 payments after their transaction has been completed. But in this case, because we know people are kind of on the fence if they want to move forward because they want to wait and see, what we're suggesting is offering them, option one, get the loan closed now. If the rates come down, do a refinance, we'll waive the lending fees. Option two, purchase now, and regardless if the rates come down, you have the 2-1 buy down. You can set that money aside, reduce your principal balance, or if you want as a refund, you can get as a refund or towards your closing costs. So it's just some options that buyers can have to overcome objections of that they want to wait and see what's going to happen.
And a $600,000 home, how much would those points be on the 2-1 thing? Like,
Let me pull it up, but it would be somewhere like anywhere, I would say from like 11,000 to about 12, 13,000 in that range. I would just have to, manually calculate it, but it would be a significant amount.
okay, and most sellers, because they're making such a great, appreciation on their homes, I would
Right.
think would be willing to put in 12,000, 15,000, right?
Right, exactly.
Whatever, 900, whatever the cost of the home is, so. that
Yeah,
sounds
so we think that would really help out. It's a win-win for everyone. Seller gets full price on their sales, buyer gets to move in. You guys look like a hero, and that's really kind of what we're trying to accomplish with that.
Thank you, Brian. These are good tools to have in our arsenal to help our buyers get off the fence.
Yes.
Just switching gears here, I just wanted to share with you some market statistics on days on market. So I'm hoping I can get this pulled up here. Let's see. Can you see this? Oops. Nope.
No.
Okay. Thank you, Betty Jo. All right. Can you see this here?
Yes.
Okay, so this is days on market for, let's see which I'm looking at which stats. Oh, this is for the Chino Hills area. This is in the last 3 years ending in December. Back in 2020, days on market was 32. And then in 2021, it was only 19 days. And then it's up to 29 days. But you know what? Realistically, this is still a good market because in the past, the normal amount of time it took to sell a home was 6 months. So 29 days is still pretty good. It's up 52.6%. Hold on. So this is Chino Hills, and then let me pull up the one from Chino so you guys can see. I have to keep flipping here. Can you see that?
No.
Oh, okay. I have to do it in double time. Okay. Here you'll see it's a little bit different. In 2020, it was 9 days on the market. In 2021, it was 8 days on the market. Can you imagine that? And then in 2022, it's 34 days on the market in the city of Chino. I did another one for the city of Hacienda Heights. Let me get that up. Oops. Oh, okay. See, this is for Hacienda Heights. It was 11 days on the market in 2020, 10 days on the market in 2021. Now it's 42 days on the market in 2022. So Hacienda Heights, but still historically still low. It's just a little over a month of being on the market. And remember when homes were on the market 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So, you know, if you have a listing, you know it will sell, but it'll just take a little longer because we were spoiled with the 9 days, 10 days on the market. Now, I want to show you where you can get this information, because if you're going out on a listing appointment, you can share this with your clients to say, you know what, it's still a good time to sell historically. It's through our CRMLS, and let me see if I can get there. Okay, let's see if I can. All right, so let me go here. So, okay, you get into your CRMLS, you log in. So let me log in. So just to show you.
We just see your templates.
Yeah.
My what? Okay.
Your templates or whatever.
Oh, templates. Okay, let me get in. Can you see this now?
No.
You see CRMLS?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm logging in. Okay. Can you see it switching to another page?
Yes.
Okay, so I belong to TIGAR, the Inland Gateway Association of Realtors. So yours might look a little different on the left side. Yours might be Tri-Counties or whatever other one you belong to, IVAR, but mine's TIGAR. But you know, on the first page, you'll see all these different apps on the left side, left middle, but this one is called InfoSparks. It's free. So I'm going to double click on this, or just click on it. And just, you know, give me an area where you'd like to look at days on market, and I'll put it in.
Eastvale.
Eastvale. Okay, let me see if I can find that here. So you see, I'm trying to type it in here. Eastvale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me see if they do it. You know what? Eastvale is really Corona. Do you know a zip code for Eastvale?
Oh, I don't have one.
80
917.
92880.
92880. Okay, so I'm going to go look for that particular one. We're going to look for single family residences. I'm going to add it, condominiums and townhouses. Okay, so now I just added those 3 types of properties. And then see here, we have active listings. We can look at that. And I'm going to look at it as instead of a line view, I'm going to look at it as a bar view. And then you have pending sales, closed sales, total closed sides, closed volume. But let's look at, it's crunching the numbers. Okay, and then days on market. So you see Eastvale, 92088 is 54 days on the market, 350% up. But still, that's still below 2 months worth of inventory. But there's so many things you could do. I just wanted to share with you this particular app that's in our CRMLS. And the reason I thought of it is because we had a training a few weeks ago, and they were sharing all these different infographics that someone was sharing. And they said that their board of realtors provided it for them. So I called my board of realtors to say, hey, how can we get this? And they said, well, you have it already. It's called InfoSparks. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, that you can make use of it. Now, let me share with you that our CAR.org has a new format for accessing our zip forms. I think Victoria, you're the one who kind of showed me this. I don't know if you're still on the call, but anyway, let me grab that. I'm just making you aware. Let's see if this could play. Okay, this is a video. Okay. Let me unshare for a second. I want to make sure my video things are on. Okay. All right, here we go.
Hi there, and welcome to this video on Transactions Zip Form Edition. Today, we'll be looking at the new Forms Editor, focusing on the basics of how to use it. Let's go ahead and get started. Here is the new Form Editor. Before we get into the new features available to you, let's first understand the layout. Taking up most of the screen is the Document Viewport, where you can view the document that was selected. Next, we have the Workspace, which is where you'll be performing all of your actions on a document. Finally, on the right-hand side is the navigational pane, where you can cycle between different features at your disposal. By default, we start on the Forms section. Let's take a closer look at your new workspace. While here in Forms, we can add a document from our transaction just by clicking and dragging it into our workspace. We can remove a document from our workspace by clicking on the X. You can also add a document by clicking on the plus icon. You can add documents from a form library by clicking on the Add button. Next, select Form Libraries. You can select which form library you would like to add from if you have more than one library on your account. You can then add any forms to your workspace simply by clicking on the Add button. We now have multiple documents in our workspace. We can enter information and edit on the fly from one document to another, all within the workspace without having to leave the editor. You can download a document by selecting it and clicking on the download icon. You can also print documents as well. You can quickly send documents for signing from within the Forms editor. Simply click on Prepare Signing, and a pop-up will begin the process of setting up an e-sign package using the method of your choice. That sums up this video on the basics of the new Forms editor for Transactions Zip Form Edition. For more detailed information, we invite you to check out one of our webinars by clicking on the link in the description.
Okay, so do you want to see what it looks like in real life? Well, I'm going to show it to you. Let's see. So if you go into your car, let me get in there, because I was surprised. Let me stop sharing for a second. Let me share that. You know, I just wanted to make you aware of this because I wasn't aware of it, and I thought, oh my gosh, maybe you already know this, but I'm signing in to my zip
Right
form.
now, they let you use that new one on the old one right now.
Yeah, right. That's why I wanted to show this to everybody. Good, Deborah, you already know this. So I'm accessing my zip forms. It's authenticating my membership. By the way, our memberships are due this month. Do you see it's thinking? Okay, so, so let me see if I do something here. You know what? I think because I used it, it already defaults to this new form editor, but usually it'll tell you, do you want to use the old version or do you want to use the new version? So you can still use the old version if you're not familiar with the new version yet, but I think the new version looks like it has some powerful features that will make it a lot easier for us, especially that it can do e-signing through that feature. So we don't have to download it and then upload it into SkySlope for DigiSign. So I wanted to make you aware of that. But if you're not familiar yet with how to use it, you still have the option to use the old way. But I would encourage you to look into using this new way. And then let me share with you the sky slope. Okay. Can you see where it says sky slope? Oh. Okay. And the reason I'm sharing this with you here, you have a login. And for those of you who've not logged into Sky Slope before, let me know and I'll send you a welcome letter again. So here I am. And the reason I'm showing this to you is because I get so many calls from people asking me for different disclosures. I worked with our corporate office to get our disclosures on Sky Slope, so you have a place to find them. So here is the homepage of Sky Slope. You'll see this section here, working documents. You see where I'm scrolling around. So you click on there. And then you'll go under Office Docs. And then under Office Docs, we have a Chino section on the left side. Double click on Chino. Oops. And see right underneath that is disclosures. So we have, this is what I get asked about, is our BHHS square footage and lot size advisory, because it's nowhere, it's not on our car, because this is the BHHS preferred one. We have absent permits and BHHS as is with credit, BHHS Dairyland disclosure, especially those who are selling out in Chino Hills, Ontario area, and then this other BHHS Chino Hills. Let me show that one to you. This one you are familiar with because we used to have it as a Tarbell one, but just disclosing that there's a men's prison, a women's prison, a youth correctional facility, the Ontario Airport, Chino Airport, dairies, etc. Okay, so this is where you find it, and all you have to do is download it or print it. So it's there for you. Also, I wanted to share with you what else is in here. And some of you are doing transactions, but selecting the wrong checklist. So I wanted to share with you here. On the left side, you see a BHHS listing checklist. So if you click here, you can find this is a listing for an SFR, single family residence. And then you will find the documents that are necessary, okay, to do a listing Sky Slope checklist. But you'll see R is for required, IA is for if applicable, okay. But you'll see most of them are, I mean, there's a mixture here. But then we have also BHHS purchase checklists. So if you look at here, you have a residential purchase, which is what you normally would use. But if you are selling a lease, it's here. Or if you have a new home sale here, okay. And then like say, for instance, Miguel just closed a listing. Well, it was a purchase, or no, it's a listing, I'm sorry, but it was a referral that was in New York. See how little? There's just a few things that is required. But this is just to share with you what's available in Sky Slope. So just know our BHHS disclosures are there under working documents, and then also the different checklists. And some of you want to know what the checklists are so that you know what to do in terms of what documents to get from people. Okay, and Deborah, what did you do with your documents or your checklist?
I didn't I need to redo it because I didn't go on the left side where it says BHHS. I just saw new homes in the center and clicked on that checklist.
No, that was good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I only put the Chino one, that's only for disclosures.
Okay.
But
okay.
what you did was perfect. But what did you do? You sent that off, right?
I did, but Myra telling me I can't get all those documents. I haven't received anything on my client, not a signed contract or anything. So
you need to hound them. You probably won't get everything. This is what we require, but then Jackie will help us navigate through that. What is really necessary, but at least you kind of know what you need.
Yes.
Then if you have a difficult time getting it, then we can make note of it and upload that you requested the email, and then they're
Mhm.
not giving it to you.
Okay,
You cover
thank you.
yourself.
Okay.
Okay, and so Deborah Myers, were you able to go to the Chamber of Commerce meeting this morning?
Unfortunately not.
Okay,
I will be at the next one for sure, but something happened, so I could not.
okay.
I went,
Oh, you went, Deborah. Okay.
yes.
What was it about?
Pretty much on point of what we're talking about, the 80-20 rule, and about instead of setting resolutions, I forget, he says we need to have set goals and have a vision and clarify these goals. The keynote speaker was Dino Fluton, and he gave us some questions to ask of ourselves. What new thing will we start doing? What things will I do more of? What things will I do less of? And what things would I stop doing? Because he gave us a scenario about Facebook. And if you're on there so many hours a day, so many hours a week, that's a lot of time we're just wasting. So, redo our schedules and our timeline. And he gave us 6 F's. Oops, F, F, F. No. And the 6 F's in his from his point of view was set goals, set faith goals, number 1, set fitness goals, number 2, set family goals, number 3, set fellowship goals, number 4, set finance goals, number 5, and number 6 is F is set fun goals. So it was a good presentation, and a lot of people were saying how they like the chamber and how they network there and they have a lot of business, and so they have a calendar. So like on the 14th, on the 14th they're gonna have, it's a new restaurant I believe here on Schaefer and Euclid. They're gonna have a ribbon cutting there on the 14th at 3 p.m. And they going to Clark's Nutrition on the 18th. So Deborah, they won't be in the office, and you can confirm on the 18th. They're going to Clark's Nutrition instead. And they're having a job fair on the 25th of January. And they invited us to be ambassadors, whoever wanted to be an ambassador with the chamber.
But there is a meeting next week?
Yes. You can confirm with Josie. But
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
Do you have that newsletter that goes out? Are you
Girl,
signed up for that?
I didn't see the newsletter. The only thing they had was Dino gave a flyer for his event and about the job fair, which is the 25th. Those are only 2
Okay.
things I saw.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Deborah, for representing us for that. And thank you for sharing the 6 F's, like it, starting with faith and ending with fun.
Yes. Yes.
So that's good. And so I would encourage all of us to take it to heart. What are your goals? It's not just about our business goals, but what is it that you want to achieve personally? And then, let me or let someone help you achieve those goals for 2023. And then let me just share 2 more things. And this is just tomorrow's event. Thank you for your patience in this, but it's hard to navigate here. So part 1, business action plan, and there's a $200 drawing for those who attend. And then usually you find out by the same day. So you have to be present in order to win that $200, but that's great for marketing. So tomorrow at 9 a.m. till 10 a.m. is going to be this part 1 business action plan. And then just to remind you that we have the first quarter training CRMLS with Jane Borgen. Our next meeting is going to be on Tuesday, January 10th at 1:30. So that's already next week. I'm amazed how quick time flies. So next Tuesday, January 10th, 1:30, Jane will be training on the CRMLS. Okay. And with that, I just want to thank you all for being here together. Let me share our picture from 3 years ago. Can you believe that? So
Leilani,
yes.
I got first prize on the football bit
Oh,
through Rockner.
how much was that?
$75.
Yay.
Amazon, I'm going shopping.
Oh, well, congratulations. Well, what a good way to start off. the year.
Congratulations, Deborah.
Thank you.
I know some of you are playing. I need to get in on this thing.
I think this is last week.
Oh, was
Or
it?
last week, yeah, it's 18 weeks.
Oh, wow. How many weeks did you play?
I forgot a few because, I was busy, but at least 4.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Well, good for you. $75 for Amazon. That's great. So everyone, thank you again for showing up. Remember, 80% of success is showing up, is just showing up. And then the next part is taking that action step. So what is that heavy door for you? Is it the phone, or is it a pen, or is it knocking on a door? So let me show that picture again. Our 2020 start off. It's still in the 20s here, you guys. So we're gonna end with our Charleston. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Leilani.
Thank you. You guys can call me if you need any help. And
Tell George hi.
I will. Evelyn Chu, good job on the staging. That's wonderful. Miguel, you're going to be using Lorella as well for your listing, right? So you got to see a preview of what they can do to transform the house. It's important to get that house ready for the market. Okay. Okay. So, you know what? Some of you signed up for the NOD list, and because it's really hard to call through all those different things, I'm just going to send the list to all of you at the same time. You pick the city that you said you were interested in, okay? And I know some cities other people want, like Deborah wants Chino Hills. Ellen wants Rancho Cucamonga, Fontana. I think Roshan was here. He wanted Riverside, all of Riverside. So I'll send that list out to you. And other people, let me know, and I'll put you on that list and send you the NODs.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Thanks,
You.
Brian.
Yep.
Thank you,
Bye.
Brian. Send me that flyer, Brian.
Okay.